This is Liquor and Woes. Liquor and Woes. Secrets and dope and music and reactions. Liquor and Woes. I said liquor and woes. Liquor and woes. Liquor and woes. Liquor and woes. Secrets and dope and a German talking bullshit. Liquor and woes. Fuck. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. And we're live. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Boys and girls from all over the world. How are we doing tonight? This is Liquor and Woes. I'm Rob, and you guys are the greatest for being here. Thank you very much. So, today is special. We're going to be checking out something that is dear and close to my heart. And, Jeff Ross, the Roast Master General, if you've ever seen any of the Comedy Central roasts, he has a saying that goes, you only roast the ones you love. And it's kind of true with this one also. The reactions I decide to do without anyone suggesting them to me will be ones that I know I dig. And this is one of them. This is going to be BlackPegasus with his new track, The Last Snarebender, which came out just yesterday. And it's already got 2K views, which is great. And I fucking, everybody should be checking this out. Everybody should be subbing to his channel. Everybody should be checking him and Don Wannabe out, because they are the most entertaining, the most, deeply rooted in the culture, reactors / content creators / expertise of the materia, homeboys on YouTube these days, in my personal opinion. And he always says something that is very true and smart for him to say, because he does a lot of reactions. The reaction content to the stuff that's popping right now, things that I do, things that reactors do, is getting a lot of recognition, and rightfully so. But he always makes it a point to say, please support the original content just as much as you do these reactions. And we're going to start doing that today. This is going to be my very first reaction to original content of his. I did a reaction to the Heyday Cypher that my man Ricochet, shouts to Ricochet as well, threw together with a bunch of MCs, and BP went first on that one and snapped. And it's a great bit, so go check that one out. I'll leave the link to that original piece by Ricochet in the comments, the Heyday Cypher. I did a reaction to that, and it was most enjoyable, that's for sure. So this is going to be my first BP-only reaction ever. And I'm thinking I would like to do something like go backwards through his catalog, because this cat's been in the game for fucking ever. He's a staple in it. Him and Don started this rap game thing together at one point, ages ago. I can say this because I'm 44 as well, and their format, the 40-year-old FUQ boys, is of course in the same age realm and group. So my saying that is not a diss, because I'd be dissing myself by saying old asses. But yes, we're old farts, but that also means that we have a second or two of experience in this whole shit, and that allows us to kind of speak on a thing or two beyond what's popping today. So with that being said, BP, he was in Scribble Jam. He fucking battled MC Juice, right? Fucking the greats of the fucking shit. And I've said that in the Ricochet reaction as well, in the Heyday Cypher thing. This dude he came in the game let's say mid, don't nail me on the damn timeline, but it must have been a while back. And he was always a talented freestyle battle rapper back then. And people would tell him, the man would kind of tell him, stop focusing on this shit and start focusing on writing hits. So that's what he did for a couple of years. And now these days, being, poked at what is possible in this other piece of the pie of hip hop, which is off-top freestyle through things like Harry Mack, is sort of starting to regret having done that and having listened to it, because had he flourished and nourished his skill of off-top freestyle, which he has, and I'll speak on that in a second, he would have maybe not have continued to chase the career like he did, and he would be even better at that than he is already. And I said in the Heyday Cypher thing, it's starting to look a little bit, and just to me, this is my personal opinion, like the cat is actually experiencing the same thing that Harry is, which is, I personally am starting to feel like he is better off top than in writtens. That is to be proven, because the only thing I can talk on is that one verse or in the heyday Cypher, and comparing that to when he is at 100% flow state in his freestyle practice sessions, which is why all of y'all should subscribe to his fucking channel and tap into the lives when he does that. When he goes in that flow state and he's in the mode, that is fucking unreal, unstoppable, fucking just unreal shit that's happening live in front of you. And the progression you get to see week to week to week to week, it's like you're witnessing something, just something great. And now I'm going to go into one of his recorded, produced tracks, writtens. And it's the very latest one. It's called The Last Snarebender. I'm super excited to see this side of BP again in more than just one verse within a Cypher. And yeah, I invite everybody to kind of join me on this journey. And if this is something that you guys are interested in as well, I'm going to try and go back into some of the stages of his freestyle or his hip hop life, if you will. And yeah, I'm ready to roll into this. Cheerio. It's like 9:30 in the morning. I just dropped my kid off at school, so we're doing coffees. Cheerio, guys. Here's to y'all. And yes, I think this should be placed somewhere handy because the cat is fucking capable of haymaker bars, right? So this cover or this image that we see here, it says official music video, which makes me think that we're not going to get a produced music video, but probably just the cover of the track. And it looks like, because we get the sepia tones, and just one of the family photo here is, not tinted sepia. That is probably little Roberto. Funny coincidence. My name's Robert. His is Roberto. He was born in fucking Germany, which is where I am. I'm German. I'm in Hamburg, Germany. So his dad was was in the military, and he came to life in Germany. And I know this, he looks a little bit like Otis Redding, doesn't he? His dad. No shade, and know that when you watch his sessions these days, the lives and the studio setup that he does his videos from, there's a record crate in the back. And I, during one of those freestyle sessions, pitched him the idea of let's go through the crate and talk about the records that's in there. And during that freestyling about those records, he lets us know that this is really a little bit of a prop for his studio, really, and that the records that are in said crate are his dad's, and they were passed down to him, and they're now sitting in his studio and looking fine. And there's a bunch of weird shit records in there, but it's funny that this kind of ties in a little bit for me because I now get to see said dad. But as always, I'm gonna let this ring a little bit and check my volume levels. I'm ready for some fucking fire, and then I'll take y'all full screen. Are we ready? Let's go. Man, I'm super excited. Wait, I hear some kind of crackling. And that was it. Yeah, so these XLR connections, because I built the studio and build it back down, build it back up, build it back down, and sometimes these jacks will just wear themselves out a little bit. So again, I'll let this ring, check the beat, and check the volumes, and then take it off full screen. Let's go.
Young hip hopper, you ask me the meaning of brass knuckle?
So no. And yeah, I talk about two things. It's not just a cover shot, and we do get a music video. And the Brass Knuckle gang, shouts out. Of course, I'm a member within this YouTube community. But yeah, that's the crew. That's the homies. And he's in a goddamn, because he's also a jiu-jitsu, not only practitioner, but he's actually pretty far, in the ranks. I'm not sure which belt he is. But this is kind of a Zenish Buddhist, let's turn into ourselves imagery here. And you ask what brass knuckle is? So I thought we were going to get a family track.
Young hip hopper.
Let's just go.
You ask me the meaning of brass knuckle?
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you. It represents strength and unity. See there.
This accent isn't his. It's not a thing. He's putting this into the track here.
Let me tell you. It represents strength and unity. See, there are 5 fingers to make a fist. These fingers represent man. Black, white, brown, yellow, and red.
Oh. Wow. Okay, beats starting to kick in. Shouts out also to the videography here. I know the cat was just on his show, and they did a reaction to Ren together. And he produces just about every moving image that he does. He's probably being shot out here in the details of the video. Johnny Rockets. Yeah, is that him? I think. The name doesn't ring a bell. I thought his name sounded different. Didn't matter. Shouts out to him. Does great fucking videography work. But the 5 men, black, white, brown, yellow, and...
Black, white, brown, yellow, and red.
Red.
The brass knuckles bring these fingers together. A sign of strength and unity. This is why.
The fucking, in German, it's a Schlagring. The brass knuckle, the thing that you put on. It unifies all men. That's a fucking angle at the damn thing, isn't it? Holy shit. That takes out all the aggressiveness and, you know, being atrocious and being vicious and being dangerous of the physical weapon / tool brass knuckle, and making it something that unifies and connects and brings together, in brackets, for a successful, hopefully, fight. But that's a pretty cool angle of looking at that physical item, right? Holy shit. The last snare bender. We get some Asian-looking typography down there. I'm not sure if that actually is a thing. But shit, man. Let's go.
A sign of strength and unity. This is why the brass knuckles represent our music.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand now, young hip?
Chapter 7? Broken Paradise? Maybe it's being counted backwards, or I'm just missing everything in front of it. Yes, I do understand, young hip-hopper. I'm not one, but still.
Do you understand now, young hip-hopper? I meditate without medication. We build a foundation without renovation. It's all elevation. Even the food you eat is information.
I'm sorry. Everybody that follows my channel knows this. I have this ADHD thing. I can't focus on many things at the same time. So as he started rapping, I went into checking the audio and I didn't hear whatever he said. But he goes into this flow again that I love him for. He has that shit down. And he's going to start spitting. Let's fucking go.
Papa? I meditate without medication. We build a foundation without renovation. It's all elevation. Even the food you eat is information. We become the frequency of the things that we take in. Awaken from the mayhem PlayStation, a stationary playpen to separate from brainstem. Reclaim them from the surgery and pills.
Holy fucking shit. My man's spitting again, right? And he has... I have started to kind of not put him in a box, but started to anticipate a lot of content that will, you know, not just easily flow through everybody, but will always be controversial to a certain extent. He has views sometimes that are trying to get shut down by the man, if you will, because they are not mainstream views. It doesn't mean I necessarily agree with all of them, but he has something to say. And that content he has to say is obviously, we are witnessing it through strikes and being offline for fucking 7 days, is attempted to get censored, shut down even. And that has to stop, regardless of what that opinion is. It's nothing extremist or anything, but it questions everything out there. And he's doing this in a very, very lyrical way here, right? He's saying, like, a bunch of shit happened here. Even food is information. The PlayStation that you play on is really just something to disconnect your brainstem from, you know, being able to process all the shit that happens out there, because you just put yourself in this dull state of just, you know, just playing the game all fucking day. And, the conscious mind is you know, crippling under all this information overload input. And also the bit on what was it? Fuck, I was just going to talk about it. Sometimes I forget the point I was trying to make while talking on something else. The holy fuck, what was it? There's a lot of shit being said again. And this visual storytelling, I think, of course, we're just about a minute in only. What it reminds me of, I'm not saying that's what it's trying to do, is remember that TV show, the fucking original version of Kung Fu? David Carradine? The dude that just fucking walked the earth and met and clashed with folk over whatever. But this looks a little bit like it. He is kind of roaming this forest in this case, but it's not like he is, it doesn't look like he's like he's not a leader of a damn revolution, right? He's not getting people behind him and doing this march of protesting this and this and this. He's just, he apparently has observed, and he's letting us know. And he's letting us know a bunch of fucking shit.
Medication, we build the foundation without renovation. It's all elevation. Even the food you eat is information. We become the frequency of the things that we take in. Awaken from the
right. We become the frequency of the shit that we take in. It's like we get fed all this false, either deliberately false or just not even researched, just input. Take it, stuff it down your fucking throat. And that's really that's gonna be the shit, the ground that your own opinions, thoughts, and actions even are gonna grow on, unless you decide actively to not let all this shit in and decide for yourself what you want to take in. That's, I think, what he's trying to say here. And that's super fucking true. It is. If you're in a certain filter bubble of all the information that reaches you is tweaked in a certain way, or stuff that is not fitting the bubble is not being presented to you, that's the mother ground that your own thoughts are going to be growing out of. And you can't even blame a person that this happens to and who is, expressing and verbalizing those thoughts that grew on a bunch of fucking bullshit, because they don't know any better. All you can really do is let them know this is what's happening. This is how you are being manipulated. So go and make conscious decisions on what you take in, right? I'm thinking.
Mayhem PlayStation, a stationary playpen to separate from brainstem. Reclaim them from the surgery and pills. Vaccinate the children so they work to pay the bills. But the mercury it kills, plus other deadly ingredients.
Okay, here's where it starts to get. Here is where it starts to scrape or poke at the topic that he got in trouble for a little bit. It's probably a good idea not to even go in-depth commenting on the things that I know are being made an issue of here, because it's always sort of a little dance on the razor blade, to without even actively saying this is my opinion on it and I agree or I disagree or this is what he's saying. It's putting. I'm not trying to jeopardize him and his visibility by, adding to the fucking arguments that the man has against him. So that's probably a smart choice to just be all I'm going to say about it. Video fucking fire. Beats. Thoughts on the beats. First time I'm thinking about this topic, by the way, because I was listening in so hard into what he's saying. I like this little bit of it has an old school touch to it without being old school. The whole very high, I'm not sure if it's strings, but that gives a little bit of a woo vibe. I think it's fire, but it's doing an excellent job, again, like in the Heyday Cypher, of not just fucking jumping at you and having you go, fuck, I need the instrumental for the car, or fuck, I hope they pump this in the club. It's not that kind of a beat. It is doing an excellent job of being the foundation for him to dance on and talk his shit. And that's what it does. And it does that beautifully, excellently.
So they work to pay the bills, but the mercury it kills, plus other deadly ingredients. Free your mind of the systematic obedience. Immediate, the deviants treated just like a psycho. Who's the crazy one when you trapped up in a psycho? This life flow.
Who's the crazy one when you're trapped up in a psycho, right? That's a fucking good ass question.
Treated just like a psycho. Who's the crazy one when you trapped up in a psycho? This life flow, it might grow, but unseen like microbes. This tightrope of light strobes distracts you from life goals. We're all stars within the universe. So when I write my rhymes, I put you in a verse. We're all connected in
universe. I put you in a verse. Wow. I've never heard that said. Though it's not, I'm not saying it's something that one should like, why has no one ever found that? It isn't obvious, and like, fuck it. that's a fucking free kick, right? The ball is on the damn free kick mark, and the goal is fucking empty. Just shoot it. No, but when it's being spat at you, you're like, holy fucking shit, universe. I put you in a verse. And the whole thing has something unifying. He started this off with the whole brass knuckle and combining and unifying and bringing together into one, when 5 individual things are being combined and put together and unified and solidified even in brass into one. And all this shit here, we are all stars in the universe. Which is, again, it's a vast fucking, it's just endlessly big and separated from one another. But I put y'all in a verse, bringing it together. Combining, unifying, building community. I think is where this is going. And shit, that's a fucking bar.
Universe. So when I write my rhymes, I put you in the verse. We're all connected and not only to its earth. My word is born and bond from death to its birth. Converse through light slumber with my numbers. Raise the bar like high jumpers. My mind thunders, third eye wonders where we're all going. Push forward on the path and keep growing.
That was of course clever. I'm not as deep as the universe and you in a verse, but I raised the bar like a fucking high jump. And here again, he's talking about the third eye. It is not becoming mystical, I'm not saying that, but it is stepping away from, these are hard facts, physical things, like universe and stars and separating, and like stars being separated and breathing like carbons and all that shit, and particles being made of, and microbes. That's factual, scientific shit. The third eye aspect here now is starting to get to leave that a little bit and go one layer above that, right? Above what's visible and, physical, hard fact, provable stuff.
Where we're all going. Push forward on the path and keep growing. We are the chosen. We are the chosen. Yeah. Let the music create.
That again, I think, is like a physical gesture of unison and bringing together, or it's channeling energy. It could be just a jujitsu move that I'm completely misinterpreting, and I have no business talking on it because I have no clue of martial arts. But it looks to me, and it pays into the thought I am having and what I am making of it, interpretation-wise, of the entire thing, music and visual. I think it does that to visually underline the aspect of I bring together. I'm trying to unify. I'm not trying to be, I'm not trying to be a crack in the damn thing, and I'm not looking to polarize and split and form camps. I'm looking to unify and bring together. I'm thinking. And that's a visual statement that underlines that, I would say.
Push forward on the path and keep growing. We are the chosen.
We. Note, he says, we are the chosen. And not I am. I have I have the biggest cock, blah, 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 and I am the shit. No, he's saying we. It's a unifying thing, I'm thinking. By the way, the title of the whole thing, The Last Snare Bender. It's now through the visual appealing to me a little bit like it's a Last Samurai reference, maybe. But what is a snare bender? Should I Google it? Of course, I snare drum, and to bend it by hitting it super hard. Is that it? Snare bender. I'm not sure. Maybe we'll get like a clue of what that actually is later.
We are the chosen. Yeah. Let the music create unity to bring us strength. Let our passion be so infinite it has no length. Though the path is long.
Let our passion be so infinite it has no length. And of course, he's now actually saying it in my face. Unity. Let music create unity. Yes, sir. Please let it. And even with hate speech music and, extremist bands with extremist views that are trying to polarize and that are trying to divide us, even that form of art is something that we can unify on by saying we hate it. And we will not have it, and we will not support it, and we will not give it clicks, likes, shares, and nothing. So we kind of have the power of doing that these days. It used to be a fucking Billboard chart that comes out every week that had the power of saying what's hot, what's not. In today's day and age, all of us, play a super big, if not the biggest role in what's hot and what's not. And we can manipulate it towards the unifying forces, or we can decide not to, and continue to share bullshit and continue to buy bullshit. And I break it down to only this piece of the pie, hip hop. If we continue to fucking celebrate bullshit, face tats and lean content, it's not gonna stop, right? We should support real shit like this. That's just my personal opinion, though.
Bring us strength, let our passion be so infinite it has no length. Though the path is long and the nights are cold, let the pain in our hearts be spread through soul. Let the music create unity to bring us strength. Let our passion be.
He even has stuff painted on his, on the back of his hand. He has an arrow on the forehead that points down. He has arrows on both of his hands that come together, pointing toward one another. And I think where all these arrows end up, he doesn't have one in a crutch, of course, but that points down, this points here, and it all centers at one point here. This could just be me trying to interpret stuff that's never been planned for, but it would all, in the complexity and in the entirety of things he's given us, would make sense.
So infinite, it has no length. Though the path is long, the nights are cold. Let the pain in our hearts be spread through souls.
How to heal yourself. The only person that can heal you is yourself. That's what I've come to learn on my journey. The power lies within.
This is a sample or a quote, right? This is not somebody he dragged into the studio to say these words, or is it? It seems like some martial arts wise person that is sharing knowledge, and he is just implementing it into his track. Or did he write these words and have someone say them for us in the studio? Either way, it's great that it's a little bit of a life, not lecture, but here's my observation of my being a 40-year-old FUQ boy, and I've been through a thing or two. And here's my outtake of it, and I'm sharing it. And he's not really pointing fingers and blaming and saying, you are on the wrong path, son. He's just saying, this is my take. This is what I have to say on the issue. And I like that. I don't like it when people preach as in, this is what you gotta do, and this is what you will go to hell for if you do. He's just saying, here's my book of rules for my personal life, and here's how I think we can better society as a whole. And that deserves horns again. Because it's not being didactic. Is that an English word? He's not putting out a guidebook, a rule book that you would have to abide by, Bible style. He's just saying, this is what I have come to realize, and I'm sharing it. I love that.
That's what I've come to learn on my journey.
See?
The power lies within. No doctor can save you. No healer can heal you. They can help you. They can guide you.
Yes.
But we have to be the ones that tap into our infinite potential of self-healing. It all starts with us. It all starts with our belief system. It's all BS, belief systems.
That's nice. That's nice. It's making it a little. It gives a very, very short, entertaining touch, but just by doing that, it's all BS. Belief system. That's true. That's true. It's your inner compass of what you hold to be, untouchable truths and facts that you sort of arrange your life by. And if you're struggling, you can seek external help and advice and ideas. But at the end of the day, the physical change will not be induced externally. It has to happen in you. And as someone who has experienced, I'm not trying to, oh, poor Rob, no. But yes, I guess anybody has been through shit. And let me know in the comments if you've also come to find that what at one point pulled you out of whatever struggle you have experienced. To me, if I break it down like here, at the end of the day, no matter how many good friends have stood by you or how much great, life guidance advice you have gotten from whoever you consulted with the issue, the switch will have to be flipped inside of you, and no one can reach in and flip it for you. You will have to flip it. I do believe that is facts, because I've had it happen, and I've had to do it. And yes, the result is I got better. Facts, BP.
If you say to yourself, I have an incurable disease, then you're right. If you say to yourself, I have a curable disease, then you're right.
Yes.
Belief is everything when it comes.
Here's where it starts to get a little bit, for me, this could be subject of discussion, at least. I'm not saying here's where it gets not wrong or false. I'm saying this is definitely discussable, at least. Because I disagree when somebody will say, you can speak anything into existence. I disagree. I don't think you can. There is, and especially with this example that he's given us here, if you tell yourself something, your shit is curable, then it is. If you tell yourself it's not, then it's not. I disagree. That unless you have some sort of, at least part of you depends and believes in divine aspects of, miraculous healing. I think if something is physically uncurable, then it is. Right? So you have a birthmark. It's there. Yes, it can be cut out, but you cannot speak it into non-existence. It is there, period. Maybe this is a bad example, but, cancer issues, everything that is in this medical world of super, super threatening. And I know BP speaks from experience, not sure if with himself as well, but with his little daughter, who we're going to give shouts to, and who is in all of our thoughts. I am deliberately not saying prayers because that would be wrong of me. I'm not actively atheist, but I'm not a religious person. It doesn't play a role in my life at all, which is probably why I'm not really following that argument there, that you can kind of believe anything into existence. But yes, he has that experience, and I know, because we hear it not only in the Ren interview, but in other instances here and there, there has been things happening that everybody told them will never happen. That I do think is totally possible, because somebody is all of a sudden coming up with something totally new and strange and that nobody ever heard of before, and that all of a sudden does the thing that everybody tells you is not going to happen. But that's something different. That's not your own inner belief that so-and-so is not impossible, like everybody's telling you. That is the very, very lucky, universe being in the right constellation for something to happen that was very unlikely to happen. But let's not get into too much detail on that. I'm super glad that she is fine and that she is getting better and that everything seems to be cool with her. And she has done the cutest little reaction with him on Ren's King of the Bongo. Shout out to that little girl. She's gonna be, I'm not saying a hottie, please BP, don't say that. She's gonna be hot as in a thing one day, because she is being brought up by someone who is hot out there these days, and who knows how to, how to play with an audience, who knows how the game works. And she is being brought into this life not forcefully, you know, not Jackson 5 as it get on that stage and fucking perform, but no, just very easily, gently. And if she says, hey, I want to do a song with you, he's going to flick on the camera and have her in the backseat and they're going to sing together. And it's the cutest shit ever. And it's just so fucking all hats off to that. And now we're going to get back into the song before I talk myself into the, like, way out of this whole entire world of what the song is actually doing. But shouts to all of you guys.
Right. Belief is everything when it comes to healing. I just want to tell everyone out there, if you've been...
That I agree with. If you're going in it with a negative mind frame and sort of have given up on yourself already, then the greatest therapy of whatever is supposed to help and cure isn't gonna, because you just sort of internally you have closed the gates and shut it and like given up. That I do think is the thing. But the opposite of it, with every cell of my body wanting something to work, is not necessarily going to make it work. That's what I'm saying.
Diagnosed with cancer, if you have a motor neuron disease such as cerebral palsy, if you suffer from panic attacks, anxiety, any other kind of stress, this condition is curable. There is a way out. It's amazing how much is revealing itself.
My saying facts was toward he named a couple of bullet points here. And anxiety, stress, mental, just, you know, your brain's doing backflips and just unstoppable, constantly whirling and twirling. That is, I'm not saying just by wanting it to stop, that is curable, stoppable, and endable. I speak from experience on that, and that's all I'm going to say on it. The first of those bullet points being cancer, though, I don't think necessarily needs your 1000% commitment to want it to end when there is surgery that will end it, you know, on a non-mental level. I think when they put you to sleep in this with the fucking, what's it, we call it narcose. You know, before a surgery, they will put you to sleep. And that's where the you know, the physical willingness for something to work ends. That's when you're knocked out and you're in the hands of a physicist medical doctor who is performing physical things, completely leaving out the mental aspect. And that either works because he's doing a good job, or it doesn't because it's just physically not curable. Because if you took the entire thing out, you're going to die from having that took out. But all the other things, yes, I do agree with. You have to be part of the process of wanting to heal and also willing to change your ways for it to work successfully afterwards. That is, of course, facts.
Right now, in these days and times, the hidden is coming to light, to light, to light, to light, to light, to light, to light.
Only the Avatar, master of all four elements, can defeat the Fire Nation and restore balance to the world. The four elements, is that earth, wind, water, and fire? I'm guessing. It's kind of a yin and yang thing, right? I don't know what the Avatar is. Can defeat the Fire Nation and restore balance to the world. I think this is, even though it's not being explicitly said or written here, it comes again to the main motive of unifying and bringing together all four elements, you and your belief system, us as people of that color, that color, that color, that color, the universe. Everything needs to come together and unify instead of separate and work against one another. And everybody should be able to get behind that statement, right? Facts, facts. Facts, facts. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. I was thinking this is actually an extra special effects created by Jared Vigil. Wow. Oops. So, flames, right? I'm going to be honest, the complete opposite of what I expected. A, because this starting image here gave me the impression we're going to get into like a ode to my family kind of a thing. B, because yes, I do know BP is a family guy, and if there's anything that is like top-notch bullet point number one in like the what's important in my life, it's his family. That's for damn sure. And reflecting on what is happening to his little daughter, I think is one of the aspects of deciding to put a song together like this. And his experience, it seems to be the one that I just said I don't think is always possible, but how great for him that it apparently was. Beats. I said it somewhere within the whole thing. It did a great job of being the carpet foundation for him to actually speak on and to not distract our ears into bumping too hard with the beat and thereby losing focus of what's being said. So that is an amazing achievement of a beat without sucking. And you know, it's not like, oh, I hate the beat. It's just the beat is perfect for the combination of things that were achieved here, and probably would not have been so easily achieved if it were completely different. And the content, of course, wow. Depth, right? Deep, deep, deep depth. And it doesn't leave you with a lump in the throat, as in, oh shit, how do I change my ways in this whole, constellation of things that he's just touched upon. I would say about myself personally that yes, I am also one that would much, much rather live in a state of unison with everything rather than have everything anti. So it, of course, resonates with me, and it plays my strengths beautifully, nicely. Wow, great artistic achievement. So it's something that when it leaves you deep in thought, as in that's something you're going to probably take to bed with you, that is an achievement that is just priceless. You can't put a price tag on an achievement like that. And it's not measurable in commercial success, in airplay, in views and shares and all that shit. It is something that if it's as relevant and touching and moving as something like this, it's way beyond how many views does it have. With that being said, please, guys, link to the original videos, of course, be in the description. Give it said views and give it the chance to take it in like I did, and give it your own interpretation, that it circulate through your own standards and beliefs, and have an outtake from it. I hope everybody enjoyed this as much as I did. If you want to do me a favor, leave a like, leave a sub, leave a comment. Shouts to BP for being fucking flames with this shit. And I will see you, BP, on the damn next practice session, and I'll see everybody else, hopefully, on the next video.